Don't show up, don't come out, don't start caring about me now. Walk away, you know how. Don't start caring about me now. Aren't you the guy?
Okay, welcome to another tutorial. I'm Max Gamser and I will get you through this production of Dua Lipa's Don't Start Now. A new track, or new, it's not that new anymore, but I really like the production. It's produced by Ian Kirkpatrick, if I'm right. Yeah, it's produced by Ian. That's cool. He also did New Rules and I think maybe more of Dua Lipa. Okay, let's dive in. I think I've made this from scratch and I started with the kick because I really like the kick, like the whole drums of this track, together with the bass, the electric bass. And I was thinking the way the kick sounds and the snare sounds and the bass is really disco-like. Yeah, so I got a video here from somebody that's playing Lindrum samples. And the sounds of the track from Dua Lipa have a lot to do with Lindrum samples, especially the snare. Let's have a listen. Especially the snare here. And maybe also the shaker and the hi-hat. Okay, let's have a listen to a small piece of the original that you can hear the drums. I'm all good. Yeah. Do you hear the tight drum sound? Yeah. So that's kind of a combination of a Lindrum, a really muffled snare, like an acoustic snare. Okay, then we have a bass pattern. The bass pattern is this. So you hear, I think the most important thing here is the octaves. It's very disco to do this kind of octaves. There's even somebody that's making videos about it.
Benchmarks for working lessons that are the video.
Yeah, it's also playing octaves.
So that was exactly the same bass line that we've looked at in the two previous lessons that sounded like this.
So that's also very old school disco. And then we have like the last thing that makes it old school disco, and that is the piano. It's very apparent. And there is a classic trick that Ian does here. It's playing the piano together with the old school Juno from Roland. I have it here. It's I work with a VST. It's a very great VST, this. So you have the piano at itself, and it doesn't have that much of like low frequencies. It's more about the top end, the attack that's coming from that, and the Juno has more low end. And this together is typical like disco. What you hear at the end is I at the end of the chords I'll turn the frequency, the cutoff up, so that is climbing towards something like a riser without a riser. There's also a riser in this, just for adding some more energy. Okay, I remade it as close as possible to the original. And the project files are in the description, so check that. And yeah, let's just hear something. Yeah, let's just play it. I think the important thing in the whole production is the contrast between the first part and the second part, and then it's going back to the first part, second part, and the first part is the paddy, big sounding, reverby, building part, and that's in big contrast with the second part, which is super tight, short samples, no reverb, clean, dry, and you see that in a lot of production nowadays. Let me give you an example. Yes, this is like this. I really thought of this song when I was hearing the song from Dua, because you have like the big, nice sounding bad. Okay, enough of that. So the build up. Okay. What is special about the drums is the kick. It's a very acoustic sounding kick, but there's a lot of body and a lot of top end. Listen to the transient, the attack, there's a lot of high, like super short, high frequencies there. It's this top kick. I added it to come closer to the original because there's a lot of top end in that kick. Maybe even more, like super high. So that's what I did. Then you have the snare, and I used the Lindrum snare for it. Oh, sorry. Yeah. And I gave it like a lot of attack by compressing it a lot. And this the clap is as usual with this type of production. Sorry. A little bit earlier than the snare. So you get the separate action. Here's a track with the added a cappella. It's just her voice.
Did a full 180.
This is the a cappella.
Thinking about the way I once did the hop.
Okay, and now with the music.
Did a full 180. Crazy. Thinking about the way I once did the heartbreak. Changed me. Maybe. But look at where I ended.
Okay, also listen to the short notes that the bass guitar is playing. It's all super short, but there's a slight difference in the higher notes are shorter. It's like do 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 do.
80, crazy. Thinking about the way I once did the heartbreak. Changed me. Maybe, but look at where I ended up. I'm all good already. So
Okay, that's also cool. In the second part of the verse, there's a synth bass coming in the original, and I think it's just a preset of Serum that I recognized. It's the Apology. It's the first bass in the preset folder. Sounds really like this. Like,
good already.
I think he added just to give it more texture, more like another texture. So here in the first pre-chorus, there is a sub bass coming in. It's also an like I would say an old trick for making it super big sounding, because if you don't do it, then it's.
If you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody.
Now with.
If you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody.
It's just a piano, the Juno, and the sub bass.
And you think it's funny. Don't show up, don't come out, don't start caring.
They're the triplets in the cowbell. It's a triplet grid, so make it triplet, and then I think it's even 1/8. Yeah, here you see now it's all on a like straight on a beat bar, on a beat, on a count, and the first is just like has a one extra just before it. That's how you feel it.
Help me now, walk away. You know how. Don't start.
There's a lot of like weird percussion in this. You have all the breathing sounds. It's also in the original. There's a lot of hi-hat things. There's a shaker.
Try to hurt me with the words.
My lovely friend Teun Burskens played some guitars for the second verse because there are a couple of things different in the second verse. There is a pad, so that's the first difference. And there's the guitar.
Hurt me with the words. Survive you. I'm better on the guy who.
It's also a classic disco trick, that guitar. And the guitar has a lot of where's the needs to be more chorus in it. Let's give it some more chorus.
Try
Nice.
to hurt me with the word goodbye. Though it took some time to survive you. I'm better on the other side.
Okay, there's another like cool element to talk about. It's the in the pre-chorus, you have her voice.
If you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody.
That's more like a synth RP vibe, and I chopped like a sample of her voice. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, it's this part.
Oh, 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 oh. I'm all good. Oh, oh, oh. I'm all good. Oh, oh. I'm all good. Oh, oh. I'm all good. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh, good. I'm all good. Oh, oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh.
I think it's from the second or the first verse. I was looking for an A that she was singing. A. So it's like a hybrid synth percussion vocal. But there was like there was more high in like a noise high in the original recording. So I was thinking, how can I bring more noise in it without doing some really weird complex shit? And then the vocoder came into my head, because you can just set it to noise, and if you make it full wet, it sounds like this. Yeah, you even can only use the highest frequencies. So then you can just give it more noise, like a noise layer, you would say. Yeah, and it sounds great in the whole. I think it's because it has like a percussion element, and there's not much percussion in there. It's all like long chords and so it keeps the pace, keeps the rhythm in it. Tambourine. You hear the breathing? Oh, there's also this great sound here. in the first verse. I'll call it a sci-fi gun, but it's actually let's make this sound. Okay, I've just resetted this sound, and the serum reset that's done here. You need to preset. Sounds like this, and we want this. Okay. What I immediately hear is that this is a sine. It's a simple sine wave. So let's bring the sine, analog, basic shapes. Sine. The sine is the first basic shape that you can get. There is a lot in this basic shapes. Like almost all the standard shapes are here. Let's go back to the sine. There are two things. There are two things working here. It's the pitch is going down straight and the volume is going down. So we take two envelopes for that, for the most control. I have the first envelope here, and I'm turning down the sustain because I don't want the note to be deciding how long the sample is gonna be. I want the decay and only the start of the note, and then I want to decide with serum how long the note is gonna take to end. So I think this is a great start. Yeah. Okay. Then we take envelope 2, and this we're gonna use for the pitch. So you can do it like in a couple of ways. You can do this, like take the handle there, bring it to semitones. Then you get this. But here you hear the steps because it's going in semitones. So when I do it like really slow, you hear that. We don't want that. We want like a pitch glide. So we need to go to the matrix, and as the source, select envelope 2 because that's the one that we are working with now. And the destination is going to be global master tune. Then you get this. Okay. And now we just go back to the oscillator here and change the pitch until we get it. And we want this. So it's lower. Okay, I think this is like what we want, but I hear a little distortion here to give it more overtone. So let's bring in the distortion. Yes. Okay, that's that one is longer. Okay, we can go in like high detail now, but I think this is okay. This is enough. So that's the space gun sound, and it's like widely used in disco. So it's great to know how to make it. This is also actually, you can use the same sound for making subdrops. So you can do like this. Or kicks. Yeah. You hear this? I think that's a great subdrop. Yeah, okay. So you know, it's cool to know, I think. I don't know if we can go back. No, we can't go back, so I will use the new one as the sound. Okay. So as I said, like the whole production is kind of minimal, but he has a lot of like small sounds that's coming in. You have the second clap in the chorus, like that's a second. That's another sample, another clap sample that's coming in extra. You have like an extra snare it's coming in with more low end. If you can hear it closely. And like in the second verse, there is a lot more coming in. Actually, it is the tambourine is making his entrance in the verse. Like only on the starts and the ends. There's an extra shaker. So I think in a minimal production, it's great to have a lot of small things that make it interesting to hear. Let's look at the mastering of this track, because I don't know how it's mastered, but I don't know how I master. So, and my goal is to be like as close as possible. What I do for mastering is I have these two plugins. The first one is this. Sorry, let's bring it in. Yeah, the TG12345. I use it for a couple of things. I use it as a master bus limiter, more like a compressor, and then I do it all parallel. So I never compress the whole as a whole. I only do it parallel to not lose any of the dynamics of the attacks, but make it more one. Sometimes I bring some EQ in, some more highs or lows, but I don't do that as much with this plugin. And I will spread it always, like a little bit. Sometimes, okay, not like always, but it's really nice to do it like if you have a pop track or something, then bring the spread. And there's the best limiter ever made, the one from Fab Filter. Okay, so let's see what it does.
Did a full 180, crazy, thinking about the way I was. Did the heartbreak change me?
Okay, for how I work, this is a lot of limiting. Normally, I would go like 3 or 4 maximum, but yeah, I just wanted. I just liked how this sounds.
Don't show up, don't come.
Let's just see what the meter says about the volume here. Let's see if we come close to the Spotify standard.
Don't come out, don't start caring.
I don't think so.
About me now. Walk away, you know how. Don't start caring about me now. Aren't you the guy who tried to hurt me with the word goodbye? Though it took some time to.
Okay, we are way too loud in the dynamics, but that's okay for now. We are not gonna use this for anything. But if you want to master for Spotify, then the long term needs to be -14 and over the whole track, not only over this piece that we listed now. But this is what I do not so much for mastering. I think that the mix should be as good as that the mastering is as minimal as possible. Okay, I think for now that's it. I will put this in the description. Then you can play around with it or use it for a template for another song. Let me know if you have questions, and take care. Peace out.